Nice to meet all of you. I'm the project coordinator for the storm events database. I wasn't the original project coordinator, but I took over around January, and I've been leading the project ever since. I'm a contractor working at NOAA. So we've been working on the storm events database, which is the product I'm going to share with you today. So what is the storm events database? It is a product that provides web access to National Weather Service storm data. It's a collection of reports documenting significant weather phenomena, and it has millions of annual users. It's one of the most used products at NCEI. So we wanted to update it with modern technology and enhance the website functionality for increased usability. So as part of the IPG, we have a really intentional way that we approach revamping all of these products. So throughout the process, we really wanted to, make sure that we're interacting with industry and with the general public to make sure that we're making a product that actually works for them. So as we started approaching this product, we wanted to understand the current challenges users face and how these needs may evolve over time. We also found that the general public, reinsurance, insurance, and retailers in particular heavily rely on access to free storm data. And a common ask from all these groups was to update the storm events database product to bring it up to the standards of NCEI's other products. So we gathered a lot of requests from these different groups, and we worked on translating what we heard from these groups into actionable steps to bring to our developers. So, for example, we heard, number one, that they wanted a new improved interface. And so we updated and modernized the design of the interface. We heard that they wanted more guidance on how to use the product, and that they also, reinsurance and insurance in particular, really wanted easy access to bulk data. So we created a new user guide, and we also drafted a Google Colab tutorial, which will help them with instructions on how to access the bulk data. We also heard that they wanted a map or GIS component to improve data acquisition, and we created a point-and-click map interface so that they can query data, and also maps on episode pages. And I'm going to share all of that in the demo with you later in the presentation. We also got an ask to have more detailed information on how we acquired the data and quality control process for the data. And so we updated the FAQ page to answer all of these questions. And we also made a story map, which describes the entire life cycle of how data makes it into the storm events database. And so as I described earlier, we wanted to meet with people in industry and the general public throughout the process of making this product to make sure that we're, staying on the task on a product that really works for them. So in January, we had engagements with reinsurance and retail. In February, we hosted a tools cafe where we shared our process and got feedback there from reinsurance members. We did usability testing also in February with 8 SED power users. And we also are doing public user testing right now, where we sent a survey to over 2,000 members of the public to test a new SED webpage. And the survey is still open, and I'll share the information for that survey if you're interested in filling it out. So really quickly, I wanted to share the existing storm events database. Can you guys clarify with me if you can see my screen? Did it switch out of the slides?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So the existing storm events database is a little older style, I might say. It has 2 different ways you can search. You can either click in a narrative text search. For example, I could search Hurricane Katrina with this, or you can select a state, and from here select counties, date range, and different event types. So we've tried to retain that functionality so that it's less confusing for the existing users. And now if we go to the new storm events database, this is our new UI UX design. We have a banner just to notify people that this is a still in process product that we're still making improvements on. And this is where they have the form to provide feedback. So we got some requests to make it a lot easier to find bulk data access. So we have it up here, but we also included a link down below for people. We also have resources for the monthly storm data publication. And once the user guide is finished, its approvals, it's also going to be on this page. And then we also just made the organization of the website a lot cleaner for people, and it's a lot easier for people to find the information they need. So if we start a search, I'm going to start with the search by location. So it's the same as the existing website. We wanted to keep things, familiar to the users. If I wanted to search for, let's say in Colorado, where I am now, I can search for hail as an event type, and I can leave all counties open if I want, or they will pre-populate, so I can select some. We also have the option to filter out by intensity of hail, by tornado if you're selecting tornado event types, or wind for event types with wind. And that was another request we got from industry, is that there was a lot of interest in allowing filtering. So if we conduct this search under all data that happened in 2024, we get 415 event types and just a summary of all of the information that we've collected here. Number of fatalities, injuries, estimated property damage, estimated crop damage, and we can direct users to more information down here to the FAQ page, which was also requested. We also got requests for help sorting this data, so we added a sorting capability. And then a feature that we're very excited about is the option to create a custom PDF report. And so you can create a custom PDF report by clicking on this button and then selecting all of them or just a few. And then you can generate a report, and it will have all the information about this storm, the statistics, the numbers, everything you could want on it. And we've designed it so that you have to query through the additional pages in order to add more, just to kind of gently guide users towards fewer selections, because the more selections, the more time it takes for the report to be generated. And we also have the option to download the table. And so I've pre-downloaded it here, which I hope you can see. And we have it as a CSV file with all the information in that table that you just saw. It's all in Colorado. This is the magnitude of the hail. All event types were hail, who reported the event, and so on. So then if I go to the search by map function, this is the GIS map interface that I talked about earlier in the presentation. And so what's great about this is sometimes if you're trying to search for the counties around a certain geographic area, let's say I wanted to go kind of around where Asheville, North Carolina is, our NCEI station there, you have to look up every single county, right, to figure out which counties are around Asheville. Or you can go to our map interface and simply use the draw tool to draw a circle around the area you're interested in, and the counties will be selected. We also designed it so that you can see visually which counties are being selected and deselected when you click on this section here, which I think is a very cool addition. And we also made it so you can just click on the counties themselves to select or to deselect them. So here I'm going to just look at all events that happened in North Carolina. So I'll leave that open over the last year. So as you guys might be aware, we had a pretty significant event in North Carolina. This year we had a pretty big hurricane. So if I wanted to search for that hurricane, I can also use this keyword filtering and search for Helene. And now any event that mentions Hurricane Helene in its description came up. So if I wanted to sort by, let's find an event that was a pretty significant event and take a closer look at it. So I'll click on the event here in the table, and it opens up a new tab with all the information on the event. We got requests that they wanted to see the map earlier, so we put that up first for them. And we also got requests to have a few different displays. So some people wanted a more compact display, so we made a table display for people who really wanted to just screenshot everything in a smaller view, and a dashboard display for people who are more comfortable with the more expanded information. So we also have descriptions of the events in written form, and that's where we queried for the word Helene was in these event narratives. And then also very cool and unique is these episode narratives. And I talked about it a little bit earlier, but what episode narratives are they describe the entire storm system. So this is the tropical cyclone Helene is the episode, and within the episode of Helene, we have many events. We have floods, high wind events, even offshoot tornadoes are included as well. And those are all grouped here for your convenience. So if you're looking at an event that is related to another event through the umbrella of an episode, they're all linked together here. And you can click on one of these to go straight to that event page. Or you can go straight to the episode. And when you go to the episode, the first thing you see is a map of all of the events that happened within that episode. And I can hover over to get more information on the event ID, where it was, when it was, or what type of event it was. So again, it's the same information, but on the episode scale with the episode narrative. And then we have 86 different events that happened in North Carolina under Hurricane Helene. Now, if we wanted to generate a PDF report for this episode, I've already done that because it takes about 30 seconds and I didn't want to have you guys sitting around for that. So here we have the automated PDF report. And the reason this is so important is because a lot of people need validated proof, certified PDFs that these events happened. People, the general public, can use this for insurance claims, and reinsurance and insurance companies also use it to validate insurance claims. So you can generate an automated PDF and then request that NCEI certify it for you. So in here, again, is all the information about the events, including the descriptions of the events, how many deaths, injuries, property damage, and so on. And then these are grouped by episode. So there's only one episode in this because, of course, I just generated the episode web page. But when you have events that are under multiple different episodes, you'll have at the bottom the description of the episode that links them all together nicely. All right. And so that is it. That is all I have for you today. Oh, wait, I totally forgot. I have another slide. So why is this important that we updated this project? Well, as I said, insurance and reinsurance members, they use it to validate customer insurance claims, but they also use storm data to validate their models and for historical analysis. Retailers use the storm data to support the development of weather-resilient infrastructure and supply chains. And the general public, they use storm data for a whole slew of things, anything from forensic weather analysis to weather and climate research, emergency mitigation planning, and more. So again, we have the option to provide feedback on our product up until tomorrow. So if you're interested in that, please get to that as soon as you can. We'd really like to hear from you. We'll be doing that testing in June now, and then in July, we'll be implementing all of that feedback. And then in August, we're hoping to deploy the final version. And by September, the product will be officially out of our hands and into NCEIs. And then I just wanted to thank everyone who worked on this product. We have an amazing team, and I'm really proud of all of them and what they accomplished. So any questions or comments?
All right. Thank you, Bailey. I see Bilal's got his hand up, so we'll go right to Bilal.
Thank you, Bailey. Excellent, very informative. I have a question. Whenever there is an event, always I'm interested in photos. Are you going to have a library of photos and so
on? Yeah, so we did have a library of photos, and we're hoping to get that into the reports, the monthly reports, if we can regenerate those. But we had kind of a change of what do I say? We have some retirements that kind of slowed down that process. So it might not be something that we implement in this round of the storm events database, but for any improvements in the future.
I think, the power of NOAA is that anything that you could provide photos, videos, and things of this type, it would
Yeah.
be public domain because, this government source and so on. So people tend to cite them and use them.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Other questions or comments for Bailey? Megan, and then John.
Hi. So Bailey, I was under the impression that it was actually July 11th, so we had a little more runway. Is the deadline been moved up? And is there another
Yeah.
opportunity for people to provide some input later?
This is our last opportunity, unfortunately, because we're trying to wrap up the project as soon as we can.
Okay.
Thank you.
John?
Yeah, what a coincidence, Bailey. I'm here in Asheville, North Carolina,
Oh.
working at the JFO, and I'm with the 406 mitigation team. So we go out to all of these eligible sites, damaged infrastructure or destroyed. And part of the process is to include, as best we can, authoritative description of what caused the damage. So the hazard impact. So I feel like what you have here is fantastic. And as you were working the end at the end with the outputs and report, I put in the chat there. If you can share the report you ran for episode report for Helene, that would be just fantastic.
Yeah, I completely can.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bailey, I've got a couple quick questions. I see there's a column for estimated damages, both, I guess, to personal property and crop. What's the source of those numbers?
Yes. So those ones are estimated by, and actually we have it in FAQ because I can't remember right now.
Oh, perfect.
Here.
Excellent.
But yes.
All right.
But
Thank you. Because I think that
yeah.
that's always like a key indicator or something that people are very interested in general. And then I guess
Yeah.
the next question is there any thought to aggregating some of these by event? Like, does NOAA envision at some point aggregating this information and providing a top line number for like Hurricane Helene? Or is that beyond the scope of this activity?
For us, it's beyond the scope. But the interface should help with making that easier for people who wish to do so.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions or comments for Bailey? All right. Well, hearing none, thank you, Bailey. That was fantastic. Great work. Very happy to see the elegance of the interface too. So that's very good.